Hey fella, can you give me a hand? I am Melton, son of a carpenter and married. Dad, a carpenter, worked on skyscrapers. Mom, Marianne. I am the son of a carpenter married. I get to tell parables. And this is my Tommy parable series about Tommy the no-armed Chinese fella, average worker of the unseen business. The Chinese unseen business, to be specific, the Oriental streets. How'd Tommy end up losing both of his arms? Being blindly obedient, his boss, Blue, told him to slowly feed his right arm into a wood chipper as a test of loyalty. Turned out to be a management test. Tommy's always been blindly obedient. They love that in the Orient. Slowly fed that right arm into the wood chipper. Lefty, the left arm, saw the right arm getting chipped up and was of course surprised and wisely jumped off. He didn't want to get chipped up too. You wouldn't think this kind of stupidity would be rewarded, but the Chinese streets are backwards. Wu gave Tommy a promotion. He's bossing a whole lot of folks around in the unseen business, in the streets. Whatever it is you think of when you think of that. A whole lot of folks taking turns being one person, gene pools of people. Taking turns being that one person or many people worldwide. And making sure an event happens a certain way, be it just between two people in one room, or a stadium full of people, or a city, or a state, or a continent full of people. That's the unseen business. If you got a good way of describing it, pick up your phone, make a video nowadays, and describe it. Give the streets a common vernacular, a way of describing themselves, because they write themselves out of the history books, of the news programs, pop culture, songs, books. They write themselves out. And in a way, that's good because you don't have to worry about whatever you do, making it to the unseen business, making it to the news, unless it's supposed to be there. And if it's supposed to be there, yeah, you damn sure better be making those videos. The guys at the top of the street are mean as anything. They want you to make those videos, you better make them. Consider it your street resume, yes. And do that. Get your street resume out there. Be a video pioneer and make those videos only you can make. About the streets or just plain about funny stuff or serious stuff. Show the world what can be done with video. Vastly unrealized the potential. Same for audios. Now Tommy also won his girlfriend's heart, Rhea, at the Snake Pit. It's a popular dance club. A go figure somewhere here in LA. Don't know if it's a nickname or actual name. He won her heart because he's always been scaly. Always talks with a hoarse lisp. And he likes to stick his tongue out a lot. Yes, the Oriental streets, the Chinese unseen business, has been sticking his tongue out at the rest of the world for quite some time now. Many, many millennia. Now that Tommy's missing both arms, he does a very mean snake dance. He snaked his way in between Rhea and whoever she was dancing with, and he's been there ever since. Only thing is, every once in a while, she's a little bit of a nag. So when she's too much of a nag, he figures it's time to go to Al's bar, and that's what he's doing. And he passes this guy, a new neighbor down the street, who is working on his car. Got the front end jacked up, and he's yelling at his wife, "Hey honey, come over here, help me out." But his wife, she's going, "Here kitty kitty, here kitty kitty," looking for a cat, I think, unless they named their kids Kitty, one of them. And he sees a pair of legs walking past his car from underneath there, and he says, "Hey fella, can you give me a hand?" And Tommy always, he stops and says, "You talking to me?" And he says, "Yeah, Billy, can you give me a hand? I got the starter in place. You know how hard that can be. But the screws are right over there. The bolts. Can you hand them to me?" And Tommy says, "No, I can't." He says, "Oh, come on. I'd ask my wife, but you hear her over there carrying on and on about that damn cat. They're right there. Can you hand them to me?" And so Tommy, he walks over. He likes to be helpful when he can. And he kicks off that loafer. Yeah, he likes to wear loafers. It's easier to kick them on and off. He picks up those, like Tommy says, when one sense is stolen, like, with someone going blind, the other sense is kicked in. It's the same way with your limbs. When you lose your arms, your feet get more dexterous. So he picks up those oily bulbs and he drops them into, one by one, a Leroy, his hand. That's his wife, Leslie, who's being unhelpful with looking for that cat. Leroy finishes up putting the starter in, and he rolls himself out, and he says, "Oh, hey, Phil, I didn't know you was like that." And Leroy's always curious. He says, "How'd you end up like that?" And Tommy, he doesn't like telling everybody that he pick your favorite check and post in 5 image, a Flight 93 check image, and post and repost it. That's my latest, I think. Not one 93 check in a decade of asking. No certified mail, no non-certified mail. You can also use these big 5s. Remember, whatever boring thing you get when you don't get me, it's not going to be boring if you need the firemen, police, paramedics. And it's going to be just as newsworthy as me asking for a 9/11 Flight 93 check of America's Lifelines for a decade now and not getting one. I'm John Milton Brady. Yes, the son of a carpenter Mary. Dad, a carpenter, worked on skyscrapers. Mom, Marianne. I'm the son of a carpenter Mary. I get to tell parables. Make those videos of whatever you get when you don't get me. You got the timestamp on your phone. You got the number dialed. And yes, I make videos of my call log every once in a while. And some of you out there can get those call records from the phone company. Do that. Make those videos of your calls to me from the police station. From the fire station's phone. Make it firemen of the fire station's phone. Soldiers of the military bases phones and all of each other's phones. Whatever boring thing you get, it's not going to be boring. You need the firemen, police, paramedics, and of course a lot of you don't really need that. You need to think of your phone there at the police station or fire station as every child in America's Lifeline. Make a video of it being hijacked. Not one 93 check. 9/11 Flight 93 checks. Heroes of 9/11 fought back physically against those terrorists. They also fought back making calls in flight. All of our phones make videos nowadays, so we must fight back against the terrorists who have hijacked our lifelines. And do that. You got the timestamp on your phone, you got the number dialed. Those hijacking America's Lifelines are worried enough about it to alter phone records to cover it up. But when all of America has video proof of that, time on your phone, number dialed, you make the video of whoever's in the room there with you right now, their phone not working as you try to call me, they turn around and make a video of your family's lifeline, your lifeline not working as you try to call me. Yeah, the last video of my call log, which covered 2 years, every call to and from this phone making the video, 424-229-4140. Every call the past 2 years. I got more years covered. Check it out. But in particular, if you try to look for Melton's call log videos on youtube.com/DNFD series. That's DNFD SERIES. You tried to call me the past couple years, look for that first video or last video put in there. And yeah. And it's just going to be as newsworthy That's me asking for 93 checks. No certified mail about those 93 checks either. The address is on the files. 4260 Eagle Boulevard, apartment 409, Los Angeles, California, 90065. No certified mail about that Osama rumor, that Obama is Osama's son. I didn't start the rumor, I just picked it up, and yes, a decade, without getting any comments about it. No comments about any of my attention getting. And I will tell you, everything I do is to get you attention, to get you to check your family's lifeline. Do that right now. See, that phone is every child in America's lifeline to the firemen, police, paramedics. Make a video of being hijacked. Post it. Now that's enough of that. I got to finish up. It's already up to 11 minutes. I also got to do my sugar check, and I'll show you those eyes. And no comments by phone or mail about those either. Medical research being passed by. I'm going to show you the darker eye from 9 years ago, which is pretty much like it was before that. Started changing in 1996. And I could notice a little difference when I started, when my vision improved dramatically. I could notice a difference, but no one else could. And if you're looking at me right now, this about a foot, they probably look brown, don't they? The sunlight hits them now, especially after I've been taking my vitamins for about a year now, I guess. Sunlight hits them, or that flashlight hits them. And yeah, you're going to see what the change is. The smaller, browner circles slowly disappearing now. They don't even show up in the video. The photo from 5 years ago, I'm going to show you that. With the smaller, browner circles, the smaller eyes are the browner eyes. Bigger, bluer circles growing in through and around. Medical research being passed by. And yes, it's also religious censorship when you can't call me up to tell me what you believe or ask what I mean by Jesus' immaculate house here on earth. Cities, communities, really, not just those places to go to on Sunday. Oh, you don't have to go to church, guys, to have something to believe in. You don't even have to have heard it in the church. Try to call me right now and see that kind of religious censorship that places Hussein, a cowardly Hussein, in our White House, right after we got attacked by a whole lot of other cowardly Husseins. And yes, you can ask me what I mean by Jesus' immaculate house. Build Jesus' immaculate house with these rebuilding eyes. Now let me get back to my Tommy. If I've left anything out, you check it out in another parable. Plenty of Tommies. I've been doing them daily for over a year now. These are from last month. Got a few more up there, but it's getting late. I'll save them for tomorrow, or tomorrow morning, or tomorrow's Tommy. But Tommy, he tells Hezekiah's story about losing his arms, or at least losing one arm. Hezekiah's from Amish country, and he fell off the wagon. They use wagons in Amish country. And the next wagon over ran over his arm. And one of the others in the AA meeting had asked him at one time, "Did you go to the hospital or anything?" And Hezekiah says, "No, this is Amish country. I was lucky to have the lady down the street get it sew up the wound." So yeah, Tommy says I fell off the wagon because he doesn't like to say he stuck his arm in the wood chipper and the other one jumped off. Oh, I got some saints that should be separated. He likes to do that, and that's what he does. And Leroy says, "Oh, I see. So where are you going now?" He said, "Oh, I'm going to my AA meeting." And Leroy says, "Oh, good. Where you have it?" And Tommy says, "Oh, at the bar. Down at the end of the street, there's Alice Bar." And Leroy is kind of happy that there's a bar at the end of the street, but he's worried about his new buddy Tommy, who helped him out putting the starter in. He says, okay, you go get that support. Then as Tommy starts to walk away, you know, Leroy calls out to Leslie, his wife, hey, honey. She's still going, here, kitty, 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 here, kitty, kitty, kitty. He says, leave that damn cat alone. You know, loud enough for Tommy to hear as he's walking away. Leave that damn cat alone. You know when she's hungry, she's going to be at that door. Till then, she's back in that alley. You know where she's at. And yes, Tommy has to go to the AA meeting, but he heard that. And, you know, of course, Leslie comes over and she said, who's that? Why is he missing his arms? And he says, that's a die-hard drinker there, honey. Lost his arms. To it. Not only that, he's going back up to the bar. That's where he has his AA meeting. And Leslie says, oh, that's too bad. Leroy says, yeah, well, good news is when he loses the legs, he won't be able to do that. Let's see, here's my checker. Here's my strips. And yeah, I got a little bit more I'll tell as I'm going to, because you can't leave the cat in a nice plump cat that his new buddy Leroy doesn't like. You can't just leave it there in the alleyway. Some car will run over it or something. Well, that's what Tommy's thinking. Oh. Hair trigger on this thing, and I don't know when you got it prepared. So yeah, later on that night, I'll exclude the gory details, even though I haven't gotten one call yet about the way Tommy hunts cat. Remember, it's Fifi the cat's lifeline as well as your own. Make a video of both of your lifelines not working as you try to call me. Tell me what you think of Tommy and his cat eating. 190, yeah, he's from the Orient. They have different ways there. They like the cats and dogs. No, not as pets, as dinner. And you can't exactly buy that at the grocery store here in America. You know, ground cat or pork chops, cat fritters. You can't do it. Oh, I wanted to show you the eyes. So yeah, I'll exclude the gory details of Tommy having to catch the cat with his mouth and then fling it against the, you know, it's a cartoon, guys. It's, your lifeline being hijacked, that's real life. Make a video of it. Slamming that cat against the side of a house or a fence, and then he carries it home proudly to Rhea, his girlfriend, who's a very good cat cook now. And anybody, you know, sometimes small kids point at him and says, look at that Oriental man trying to eat a cat live. Smaller brown circles from about 9 years ago, and you can see just a hint of lighter color. That wasn't there when it started changing in 1996. And here's the smaller browner circles. Newer eyes are smaller, and at times the lids will actually lift up a little bit for the newer eyes on the way. Smaller brown circles slowly disappearing, bigger blue circles growing in through and around. It's, oh, I better hurry if I want to keep it around 20. He brings the cat home proudly, you know, crawls through the doggy door and says, Rhea, look, I got some cat. In a kind of muffled way. You know, he's got the cat's tail in his mouth. A little bit different every day. A little darker, a little lighter where that brown stuff is. And you don't see the outer circle like from 5 years ago. Slowly but surely, medical research being passed by with you not being able to reach me by phone. 424-229-4140. Most important thing is, if you're a good doctor from halfway around the world, halfway across the country, and you want to tell me what's going on with you guys, you can't do it. You got to come see me in person. Do that. We'll travel, showing the perfect place to build Jesus' immaculate house here on earth, the best people to start building with. And yeah, Tommy tells her all about his cat hunting and his new buddy. Yeah, he met Will. I won't go into it. I don't have time. Met Will a couple episodes ago, and now he's meeting Leroy, and she cusses him out a little because he's getting grease all over the floor. He kicks off his shoes when he gets home. Well, it's the Orientals are custom. And he walks across the floor with those greasy toes, and she said, "Where the hell did you get all that grease on your toes?" I said, "I was helping Leroy change the starter."